butterflies. They'll be back.
I'm Nikki, and this is NixPix.
Hey everybody, it is almost June. We're at the very last end. It's Memorial Day weekend here, and so this weekend I really am going to dedicate some time to the garden. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up harvesting some of the spring garden, and I will be working towards flipping the buckets and getting some things planted for my summer garden. So why don't we take a look at what's left over in the spring garden first. Let's start with the flowers. They have pretty much finished blooming. So with the gardenias, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and cut them off probably about here, leaving about 3 inches or so. I will do the same thing over here. The garlic chives are doing well like always. The onions that I'm growing are growing a bit slower with the heat, so I'm not getting as many onions as I was over the past couple months. You can see here again I have some lettuce volunteers popping up. This was the bucket that had the lettuce in it, and I went ahead and harvested all of that. So now I have a whole container of flowers for next season. So in here is what was left over from me creating the seeds, and there's lots of seeds in here. So I'm just going to go plant all this in a bucket out in the garden and watch it grow. Here something happened to the sweet basil. I'm not quite sure. I think it may have gotten some root rot. So I cut them all down to the base. You can see here that most of them are coming back. So that's nice because those were a really nice plant. Here's the oregano. It's doing really well. The heat does not seem to be bothering it whatsoever. It is a nice overcast day today, so that helps. This was the cilantro. And if you remember right, I said I was harvesting that for the coriander, which I did. Over here is the flat leaf parsley and the curly leaf parsley and my lemon basil. You can see here the flat leaf parsley is kind of still hanging on. The curly leaf is kind of done for the season. Over here I have a dill plant that was actually sort of grew out of nowhere, so it's doing really well. Over here for Mother's Day, I got a few plants from my mom, and they were the peppermint that you see here, and it's doing well. These are 3 yellow bell peppers. Something had started to come in and eat the leaves. I sprayed it a little bit with some 7 Dust spray. And it looks like I got whatever was there. So those should start off nicely. I don't know what's with the bok choy. We just can't seem to grow bok choy here. It is also the same in the hydroponic. It's just not doing well, and all the leaves are turning white. Again, this was the random celery that I planted as a grocery scrap. I don't think it's really doing much. This I'm going to finish harvesting. I've been just sticking it under the shed for the bunny rabbit to chew on. Over here is some Thai basil. So now I have 3 types of basil in my garden. Thai, lemon, and sweet. And I'm really enjoying this Thai basil. It's very good. Over here was the random lettuce that I told you I found in the other buckets that I planted. And so it's doing rather well. I'm be able to get a couple leaves off of it. My pineapple is looking gorgeous. I dug up, because it wasn't doing so well over by the wheelbarrow area, the flowers here, and just put them in the pot, and so that kind of makes a nice little statement. Some flowers are doing well. There's nothing really growing in the boots right now except for some weeds. And my chives I use every day. This is loaded with a whole bunch of small sweet peppers. The orange trees, and I harvested 2 carrots. I probably should have waited a little bit while, but they were sticking way out of the dirt, so I went ahead and harvested them. See here, this one's kind of coming up out of the dirt again, but they definitely need some more time. The lemon balm did receive a haircut, so it's starting to come back from its harvest. The long beans have been a great success, and I was able to harvest a whole bunch yesterday. These right here are big enough to harvest. They're not as long as some of the long beans you see in other YouTube videos, but we are in Florida in the middle of summer. But they're doing really well, and they continue to grow. So I'm going to start some more of those for the summer garden. And I got to eat some last night in some pasta, and they were really good. Tasted just like green beans. The sweet potatoes are still growing. I'm actually going to make some spinach and artichoke tip, and I'm going to use the sweet potato leaves in place of the spinach. So that should be tasty. The Malabar spinach is really growing. It has taken off. In fact, it's reached the top of my pole, so we'll see what happens from there. Over here, we went to Disney last week. This was full of peppers when I left for Disney, and I left them on here to ripen. And when I came back, they must have ripened while I was gone, and something came and ate them all. So we're gonna start over with that. I have replanted the lavender over here by itself to see if it takes off and does anything. Still have yet to see any flowers on it. This is my empty row of buckets now that I have, which is really the tomato aisle. And here I've got one little tiny tomato on these plants. I thought this was a big tomato plant, so I'm not really sure what that is. These were some of the tiny Tim tomatoes that started off as little sprouts, so they're kind of growing. And over here are all of the sprouts that I started earlier of the burgundy tomatoes, which I really enjoyed. So I'm hoping that we can get something to happen this summer with those. I've got to redo all of these buckets, and how I redo these buckets is I go in the bottom when it's empty like this, and I fill it with all of the bamboo leaves that you see laying around here, and then I put some of my compost in there. And then I redump on top, I dump the potting soil mixture. So over the years, so it's been about 2.5 years now since I've been doing that, everything just mixes, and it's been very successful. So I'm gonna continue that. Like this whole bucket here now, I'll probably get like 2 buckets out of it. That saves on having to go and buy soil also. Now we take a quick look at the back porch. Here's the amaryllis that are blooming very nicely. Succulents are looking gorgeous. The hydroponic system is empty and ready for my lettuce. And here's the bok choy. As you can see, it really did not grow a lot in the past month. So we'll see what happens this month. The strawberries, except for this one plant right here, which looks like it's on its way out, are all gone. So now this has become the sweet potato jungle. And we gave the bird cage a haircut. It really needed it. It is 48 hours later, and let me show you everything I did to get ready for my summer garden in the past 2 days. I trimmed back my Gardelia blanket flower to about 3 inches above the root. I did the same thing over here, and I took all of the dead flower heads and I created a ditch along the fence, and I planted them all in here. So next year, hopefully, this whole area will be filled with Gardelias. I started my seedlings. So here I have some hot pepper mix. I actually had 3 pumpkin seeds left over, so I threw them in there just for fun. I have some jalapenos, some sweet banana peppers, and more long beans. I've also started inside some lettuce that I got from the Bomo channel, and I'm going to be using those in my hydroponic system. This is what's left of the tomato seedlings that I did not transplant. Here I have 5 buckets, 9 plants in each. These are all burgundy tomatoes. I have moved my yellow bell pepper plant over here with the other peppers. I have started in this bucket some of my favorite lettuce. Over here I have started some arugula, and I just planted this 2 days ago, and look at this, I already have sprouts. That's exciting. Cleared up the bok choy because it really wasn't worth anything or doing anything. Planted some more of my lettuce over here in this bucket that just has the one dill plant, and now all my herbs are in a line. I've moved my basil next to its other basil friend. In moving these buckets around the other day, I found a snake in my garden right underneath this bucket. So stay tuned at the very end. Thanks so much for joining me this month. Make sure to come back next month to see how my summer garden's doing. We'll see you real soon.
Please make sure to hit subscribe, give me a thumbs up, don't forget to leave a comment, visit my t-shirt shop and my social media links, and we'll see you real soon.